Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
What? Yeah, recording. Let's do it. I'm
Hello.
Jackie Cation. Hello.
Hello, I am Laurie Kilmartin.
And Kyle Clark is producing.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an introductory moment in the Jackie and Laurie show.
Thrilled to be here. All these hundreds of episodes later.
Exactly.
And all these hundreds of listeners later.
We are loved. Tonight, if you're in the Patreon or the Max Fund, you get to come to a Zoom show.
Yeah, congratulations, people that are contributing extra to the show, besides your listenership, which we love. But for our Patreons and our Max Fund subscribers, we have a 4 p.m. Pacific Zoom show starring myself and Jacqueline and Maria Bamford and Rohita Kadambi and Carmen Morales. So
and I asked Katie Hughes to do it too.
and
We could
Katie-
just this could just go on forever, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's,
it's gonna be-
I have to leave at 6 because I have to pick Andy up at the airport. But you guys, Zoom is free. You just keep going.
we're not doing a 2-hour show, Jackie.
Well, it can just keep going because I have advanced Zoom. So there's no
Right.
40-minute limit. I have the $2,000 a year Zoom. So
Yeah,
It's-
you're making Zoom money. Way to for the rest of us. Must be nice.
what I'm doing is I'm making Zoom some money. Is what you're yes. Maria is working on a new hour because she just recorded her new her new special.
Mhm.
And so that's why I asked her if
Yes.
she wanted to do it. And she's also doing like a show at the PDA, at the Public Display of Altadena, whatever it's called.
Is that where she taped her special, the Sunday morning one, Saturday morning? Okay,
Yep.
okay. Nice.
That's
Well, Jackie, we're all working on our new hours. I mean, you checked a bunch of material, right? You're
it's
working
true.
on-
I am working on a new hour. Is this sound better, Kyle?
Kinda.
Yes.
That's the fourth wall is broken. I've received a message saying I was a little hot. Anyway, so I am hot. A lot of people don't know that about me. I've done so many sets this week. I've done a lot of Los Angeles based stand-up comedy. I did Largo with Maria. And when you do Largo, you know how famous you are by how late in the night you go. I closed
Ah,
because everyone else wanted to go home.
sure.
And so I had to follow very, very beautiful sad sack music. And because there's always a beautiful folk singer that hangs out with Flanagan. And
Yeah.
and it was funny because Judd Apatow is doing a
Was he on the
documentary
show?
about it was his show. Yeah, it was a
Okay.
benefit for the ACLU.
Oh, okay.
And he loves Maria and wants to do a documentary about it
Nice.
and about her. And she told him that he had to pay her to do a documentary about her. And so as a joke, throughout the entire evening, whenever the cameras were in front of the audience, he would hand her $100 bills. And she would pocket every single one of them.
Ah,
And it was very funny. I think either she paid me or she made him pay me to do that gig. And Flanagan was like, I would love to do just a Maria Bamford and Friends night. And I was like, well, if you do what Judd just did, which is pay her and send a car to Altadena, she will totally do it. And he was like, what? Of course I would do that. And I guess he was told that she wouldn't.
oh, okay. Well, listen, you can pick me up at any point in time and book me. I just want to let all bookers know that and I'll even drive to Altadena.
You
and
would
get
drive.
there.
Oh
and
my
then-
gosh, you'll go to Oshkosh for a one-nighter.
Yes, I will.
You're on board. I was just talking to a friend of mine from Oshkosh who was like, Laurie will do any show, won't she? And I was like, yes, within reason. I mean, there's two reasons for Laurie to do a show. She
Mhm.
she wants and needs the stage time. She wants and needs the money.
isn't that all of us?
I mean, what was the thing?
Some people don't want stage time. That's what I've learned about some comedians.
Isn't that weird?
They
That
don't
is
want
so
it.
weird.
I know.
And did you was it Holly? Who in the lineup was calling us sharks
Oh, that might have been Holly. Yeah,
in,
yeah,
in
yeah.
the in the in
It
the
got
thread?
a little hot. Everyone started contributing.
Yeah,
But
it got thick.
we're sharks where we can't. If we stop, we'll die. If we stop,
Yeah.
we'll
Stop
die.
swimming. Always be swimming.
Yes,
Mm.
I do. You know what? I also think it's part of it is like the audience is changing so quickly. Like every year it's a little they're younger. It's just the audiences are always changing,
Yeah.
and they force you to keep up with them, right?
Yeah.
Reference wise and all that stuff. And if you pull out for a couple years for whatever reason, and a lot of people have good reasons, you got family shit going on, whatever, the re-entry is really difficult because the audience has moved on and you're stuck with the last things that you remember talking about, and it's hard to readjust, and you're always going to feel a little off. Like I feel like last night I was at the West Side, and there were like 0 parents in the crowd, and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
Not that but it's just like the thing I normally bond with, like, say 20 to 80% of the audience with was not available. And it's like that, oh, okay, well, I'll just tell, these jokes, whatever. But
Yeah.
I do think
You
when
course correct as much as you can.
yes, but but at least, I'm still going up
At
there,
least you can. Yes.
right? I'm just saying, like, it's very hard to re-enter and get used to the new audience.
You said reasons to pull out, and I turned into a child.
You're
Anyway.
good too. You're constantly a child, and I'm shocked when you act like an adult. How about
Yeah. I left the stage early last night. I was at Flappers, and there were 5 people in the front row who were so angry. I was at the Yoo-Hoo room, so it was a small crowd, and
Oh, at the
I think
Yoo-Hoo, what happened? The Yoo-Hoo's such a great room.
it can be a great room. It can be a goofy room, right? It can be dumb. And Jackie K, should have opened. I have done stand up in front of the silent. I have done stand up in front of the in the Yoo-Hoo room. Is that
just
what that
did a
is? You
little
wanted to
joke,
riff that? Okay.
don't rip that.
No.
I had a theory as to why they were angry.
No, they might have been angry. I don't know why they were angry, but they were so angry they affected the other 9 people in the room. Like the room is small, right? It was
That
Saturday.
happened.
I assume that they were angry because they couldn't get into Leno's show on the other side.
Why would you be angry about that?
Well, I thought about telling him I was Leno. How would they know?
You couldn't be like, I'll see you next Monday or the Monday after or the Monday after.
The Saturday after or the whatever. I mean, he's
highly
there all the
available.
time.
I know.
Yeah,
Don't be mad if you don't get into his show.
Right, but they were so like it was. I left early. I was like, yeah, they wouldn't let me. They were so angry, and they infected. I was like, yeah, I'm not able to work on any of the jokes I wanted to work on, so I'm gonna go. And so I walked off stage, and the MC was right there, and then Dave Reinitz was also picking up a set, so it was fine. They had plenty of comedy. They had someone else I was unwilling to chip at that ice, is what I'm saying. And
I see a little melted by the time you get up on stage. I understand.
Slightly, yeah. It was they had not been. Yeah, it was, and I had asked to go up first, so I brought it upon myself.
You really did.
Yeah. So as always with stand-up comedy, you bring it on yourself. You chose to do it 40 years ago, Jackie. It's not your fault. It's not their fault that you chose to do stand-up comedy. But I did Hot Tub. Yeah.
Okay. But I just want to say, the audience, you guys are very important. And like if you had a great group of 5 people, they also would have infected the audience in a positive way, right? They bring everyone along.
Yeah,
a dour bunch right up front is going to bring the crowd down. So if you're just a regular old audience member out there, you are really crucial to how good the show is. Don't doubt your power.
Right, because it is a real power and a real gift when you have that audience that matters, right?
Yes. So Hot Tub.
Right. So I did hot tub and I did TG,
Oh,
which is
nice.
across from Owino Vino or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, languages are my strong suit. Have I mentioned? Anyway, so yeah, so hot tub was super fun. I did a rant, which I was very irritated I did not record.
Oh,
Right, because it found the right angles, right? So but I've written a bunch on it on what the rant would have been about. And it's just about how you work on yourself, and you either think that you're the worst person in the world or the best person in the world who
mhm,
just needs a little tweaking. You're
mhm.
either the best person in the world who needs a little tweaking, or you're a piece of shit and you got to fix yourself. And in both cases, you are incorrect. You are just a normal person, and we're all just normal people that are just that can get slightly better or slightly
Right.
worse.
Exactly.
And unless you're a murder, I mean, I know I've seen Barry. I know that Barry's hoping to be a better person by stopping to kill people. I mean, that is a low bar. That is
Yeah.
truly a yes.
I am gonna watch Barry after Succession. I couldn't handle both of them at the same time.
Oh, I saw the first season and then I was like, as much as I love Mr. Emily Heller, cannot do it. Too dark.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I'm
funny.
excited,
So
but
you will love it.
I will.
And you know who will? Your boy, your son will love it.
He loves it. He's already watching it.
Okay.
We're still watching The Walking Dead. We're almost at the end of season 7, and we started this new anime called Blue Lock. Well, my son has seen every anime. Everything he watches is a rewatch for him when he
Yeah.
watches me. And it's about a soccer team. It's an anime soccer, like it's soccer players. There's one position of striker available for the national Japanese soccer team. So
Mhm.
there's 300 kids in this facility, kind of like just like a camp, like an East German or Soviet Olympic camp, and they're all vying for this one spot, and they're being
Squid Games.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's really funny and it's really
Mhm.
good, and they get sports right, and they get, I don't know, they get that like the animation and the art's really cool looking.
Oh,
And
cool.
I recommend it. They're very short episodes. It's not dark like say Attack on Titans.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's really fun.
And what streaming platform?
Maybe Crunchyroll. It's
Okay.
always Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's anime. That sounds right.
It's like $5 a
Um,
month. Really worth
yeah.
it for our family.
Yeah. For the amount of anime you're consuming. Almost everybody his age is and probably 10 years older.
5 maybe.
Well,
10.
are 10, I would say, like
Yeah.
are big anime, and everyone younger than him is even more into anime than him.
I know.
So
really great.
it's I have to watch some anime if I want to get my references away from a Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn movie called
Oh my
Charade.
God. Jackie, okay, so I did a show where, and I have where I was doing a set, but I was also evaluating students of somebody's class.
Yeah.
I'll just put this right here. It's not a secret, I don't think. But she has a class. She teaches stand up, right?
Yeah.
And so I would do, and so this one guy, and he's like our maybe younger than us, and
Mhm.
he had a Fred McMurray reference, and I was like, you cannot. I barely know who Fred McMurray is, and I'm practically correct collecting Social Security. You cannot go in front of regular audiences and say Fred McMurray. I forbid.
Except that Nick at Night, I would say that there's a whole generation that did watch Nick at Night.
Maybe. I mean, there's more generations now. Don't even have cable. They're
Right.
the children
Well,
of cord cutters.
I have a new Edward G. Robinson reference, so we can look
Nice.
forward to that. And
I mean, unless you're gonna take the time to explain it, and then
yeah.
which is fine, but it just
Yeah.
you can't use it as a punchline or a major descriptor. It just
Right.
it's got to stop.
It's no One Piece.
Few things are.
One Piece, my God, it's an anime that never stops. Over 1,000 episodes. I think I
Mhm.
watched 100, and I was like, I can't. I don't know where these. I'm done. It's great, and I love the villains, but it was too
It's
much.
not about getting to the end. It's about enjoying the journey to get
It's
there.
very Buddhist, I guess. Then, right? I like an ending. I'm a capitalist,
Mm-mm.
so
You know that I probably told you this story last week, but so Mike Kaplan was on the Dork Forest
Mhm.
talking about Buddhism. That was
Oh,
his dorkdom,
I
and
love
I
Mike.
ca- and
Oh,
I
he has a new
yeah,
special out, by the way.
that's right, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, that's why he was on the Dork Forest.
Is it on YouTube?
And what?
Is it on YouTube?
Probably. He probably told me. You guys
Okay.
should go to dorkforest.com and find out. But I will say this, as I was talking to my dad right before I recorded, and I said, I'm doing a Dork Forest about Buddhism. And my dad goes, I once pitched a nudist colony. And I said, not nudism, Dad,
Oh yeah, you
Buddhism.
tell that story.
Yeah, okay. Made me laugh. And, and then he told me anyway.
Well, Jackie, it's a story worth telling twice. That's what I
Right.
say.
And then I did the TG across from Owino Vino.
Yeah.
And that one, they desperately wanted me to close. And that one's flattering when they want you to close. And but
Yeah.
still late. And that's the one where I'm like, no, I'll go up early. And but because the audience was so good. It was really good, the audience. And
Peacock show.
yeah, I believe it's called Peacock, and it's in that's there's a main bar, and then you go back, and then there's a table where they're making sliders. I don't know how legal that is, but the slide, I was hungry. I had a slider. It was delicious.
Oh, in the back.
Yeah.
Outside. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, the
those are
food's
full and delicious. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like not even a truck. It's less
a
than
table. It's a table.
it's a slider table. Oh my
Mhm.
God. So good.
Yep. And then so other than that, I did a show at Flappers last night, sort of.
Yeah.
And then tonight I have another one at 7 p.m. So
Oh, that's cool. I am at the Long Beach Laugh Factory tonight. I have a bunch of checks to pick up at Hollywood. I keep hoping they'll book me at the Hollywood so I can pick up my checks, but maybe I'm on the B list or something. I don't know. But I'm on the long
because does Laugh Factory pay
list.
by check at the Hollywood?
Yeah, you have to pick it up. Yes. It's
opposed to the Hollywood Improv, which hands you a sweaty or crisp $20 to $50, $10 to $20, $50 bill.
Jack, and let's not let the IRS know about that.
Right. There's tens of dollars being
We do get W-2s
being earned. And I will say, oh
Well,
yeah, I
wait.
still haven't gotten paid from Vegas.
That's ridiculous.
Then so I'm trying not to, this is a flashback to when I first started doing stand-up, where you don't want to bother the booker because you're hoping to get booked and not paid again. And so every tour, but I'm no longer that person, so it's every 2 or 3 days instead of once every 2 weeks asking.
Jackie,
So,
I don't want you to bother the booker so I don't get booked, because people are starting to put us in the same category. Oh,
we're going to the creek in the cave today. Yes.
Jackie complained that she wasn't paid. I guess Laurie's going to complain. Never mind.
But you're going to want to get paid even more than me. So the but I finally, they're sending a check.
Okay.
So that'll be nice when I get that one day.
Well, I'm at Long Beach tonight. I have to pick up my checks at some point. I am begging them to give me a Hollywood date, so I don't have to swing by the Hollywood Improv or Hollywood Laugh Factory, not have a set, and get my checks. Can I just
pay for parking? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Right.
For God's sake. And then I did the Barkley. Oh my God, that was so fun.
Cool.
It was Lady Comics Night. It was Maria was there, Solange Castro was there, Kathy Ladman was there.
Fun.
A couple other. It was really fun, and the room was packed. And I riffed something that I think can be a staple and a joke in a story I'm building. I'm decided to talk about the JetBlue masturbator, and
good.
that will be hopefully a 5-minute tale soon. I'm finding, Jackie, I always like to have a good dick joke to offset any, any sort of virtue signaling I do on other bits, so that
and
average white audience member doesn't get
I am
anything.
waiting for you to write the virtue signaling dick joke. Oh,
Oh,
just think about how that's what male dick jokes are. That's a virtue signaling dick joke. That's
yeah, a vagina signaling dick joke. How about that?
well, no, because they're always talking about how big or small their dicks are.
Mhm. I was just riffing off a different phrase. That's all.
Did you get
Jack.
it? Did you get it? Okay, you got it. It turns
Against
out.
each other's best interests. Let's see. So anyway, Barclays was really fun, and then the set where I closed out the set where I had to evaluate everybody. That was very stressful, by the way. Right, because most people, everyone's making the same mistake, which is not
in the
enough stage
beginning.
time.
Oh yeah.
All I could say is get on stage more. I will say that the people that have had theater training, for them to learn to break the fourth wall, it's really difficult for them. They have that theatrical presentation, and stand up is like looking the audience in the eyes constantly. Okay, it's the opposite of musical theater, and I think it seems like it's really hard for people trained that way to switch it off, because it must feel like cheating or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it does. Huh.
I do know that whenever anyone goes into a character on stage, it cannot last for too long unless you're, massively famous, because they will lose interest. The audience is like,
Or it has more punchlines than it currently does. You can only do the character for as long as there is punchlines. So
right.
if you're right, so if you want to do a 5-minute character, holy smokes,
Oh shit.
you've cursed yourself, because
No,
you
yeah,
have to write 3 punchlines for every minute. I say,
well,
and that's it, and that is an arbitrary number. I'm so sorry.
it is. But also you as the comic need to break in and not have a 5-minute straight monologue. You need to not even have more than 30 seconds as another person, because you have to let the audience know you're still there, and you're going to attack them if they, they start acting up.
That's actually the Laurie Kilmartin School of Stand-Up.
My theory. The
I do.
audience needs to be afraid you're going to attack them.
At all
That's
times.
how you control them.
All right. So Thursday I go to San Francisco to do an immigration benefit that I'm doing with Shang Wang and Aparna Nancherla.
Nice.
And that'll be super fun.
It's a great show.
That's a great show. And we're all just doing 15s, I think.
And they're flying you up?
Yep.
And they're putting you up?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
But I still haven't heard back from Throckmorton.
Oh, okay.
I would love to be flown up and put me up and get to do longer than 15 minutes at the Throck.
Yeah.
But this thing is this thing promises to be very fun. And then Friday I fly to Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna do a red eye from San Francisco to Milwaukee, and then somehow figure out how to sleep all day at my brother's house, and then do 2 shows that night. And then I was like, you're banana land. That's bananas.
Right.
So I'm gonna sleep like a Christian. I'm gonna get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the airport and fly and get there at like 2, and then rent a car. And then, does anyone want to hear the end of my horrible Hangover Force GPT whatever?
Why did you interrupt one story to tell us the ending of another story? Jackie, I'm listening.
Right, I know it. It's but the it's fine. I'm just I'm gonna get to Milwaukee on Friday. I'm doing shows Friday and Saturday in Milwaukee.
Okay.
So in other news, last week I lost my rental car keys. Remember?
Oh, right. Yes.
Because it was the hackiest outtakes from a shitty sequel to a show that has not yet been written. Rental car keys were flushed down the toilet at a movie theater at 11 o'clock at night in suburban Minnesota.
My God.
Days later, every day I called them and I was like, is it over? And when I called them on Sunday, they said that they didn't know where the car was. And if I could call roadside assistance, they could find out where they had towed the car. And I said, wait, you're roadside assistance? And they said,
a whole week later?
No, the day later.
Okay.
And I was, because it happened. So I called on Sunday. I was told that it was towed to somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
an impound lot, and so and to find out when, but that the case could be open for up to 5 days, and they would charge me for the car every day, and then it would be between $550 and $1,000 to replace the car and the towing and the lockout, the car, the keys, the lockout and the tow.
You could have called a locksmith. That they could have done it for like, I don't know, a couple hundred for sure, but still.
I don't think a locksmith can make car keys
Yeah.
for a rental car.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
don't think that that's something that anybody's wants to take liability for. But I did, that I did eventually call AAA,
Yeah.
and they were there in 20 minutes, and they opened the car, and I got my sweater, and I got my nephew's present, and we took a lift to the hotel, and the next day they were like, well, the car got towed. We don't know where, but the case will be open for up to 5 days, and it could cost all this. So I called on Monday, and I was like, and they said, well, because I had talked to a couple of different people, and I had been sane about it because it was
Yeah.
the weirdest thing that had ever happened. And they said that they'd put a priority on it. And so Tuesday or Wednesday, I got a receipt from Budget. They charged me 1 cent. I win.
They
charged me
charge
a
you
penny.
1 extra cent.
Yeah, 1 extra penny, because they have to charge something to process sort of what happened.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And because I did call their roadside, and I found out that it had been towed back to where I rented it. And so I gave them their own address and telephone number when I called back to customer service, and I said, here's where it was towed. And I'm sure they found an extra, they found like an extra set of keys or something.
Yeah, that's amazing. I also had incredible rental car luck.
That's
I
right.
rented a car in Milwaukee. So far, they've only charged me $50.
4 days?
Happened. I'm afraid they're gonna figure out their snafu. And I'm not saying anything, and I'm not saying the name of the car company. Nothing.
I called Budget and asked if the penny was right.
Don't. I would never do that.
I know, I did it. I thought, what would Elliot Cation do? And then I did the opposite.
Something, something is not right with these rental car companies and us, unless there's a secret society of women who work rental car companies that love us and are going to be on our side from now on.
Or because we're not jerks. You're not a jerk when you rent a car, and because you were nice enough to say you should come to my show, right?
Yeah.
And then that person came to the show, and
I don't think she did, as far as I know. No.
Oh, really?
No. By the way, she didn't tell me.
Okay.
I was at the merch table every night afterwards. She could have come up.
Hey, I finally got I got a sketch merch. I put it out there for 4 different artists to do the bees t-shirt idea. And I got a tentative from one person, and I have to find that to tell her to stop working on it, because I got almost a final from Jenny Fine, who did the Horcrux album and the Meat Shield shirt.
Yeah.
And it's freaking adorable. The bee shirt. It's going to be awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
How much put in? How much are you paying her?
I don't know. I asked her, and the last thing she did for me was the Meat Shield design, which ended up being $12,600 to charity.
Wow.
To various anti-immigrant, like pro-immigration, legal, whatever. And so she said the bees thing. She said, "Oh, is this for charity too?" And I said, No, this is a for-profit endeavor. Feel free to charge me whatever you would charge someone for such a thing. And yeah. She also did the drawing of my dad for the challenge coin and the dad shirt.
Oh, cool. Well, she did our little drawing I made into stickers that I give away. I remember to bring them. I'm trying out my centaur image on a magnet. I'm very tired of t-shirts.
Right.
I'm tired of organizing the sizes, and I'm not sure men want to buy it. So it's more of a woman's shirt. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'll sell these and then see how the magnets go. I bought a gigantic on eBay. Somebody was selling a Toomey suitcase, which are really expensive.
Oh, right.
And so I bought it obviously secondhand, and you can
Hey,
fill
you-
it, but then you've got like an 80-pound suitcase. So that's not even helpful either. If I have like so anyway, I have to figure
Right.
my search
I
out.
bought a super cheap version of the giant one, and the first time it went over the 50 pounds, I was like, oh, I can't use this. This
Yeah.
is actually not of any use. Like if I was selling sweatshirts, something bulky,
Yeah,
that'd be different. But
right.
everything's super dense and heavy. And so I have two smaller, like sort of normal size roller bags.
Yeah,
And I spent a fortune because I bought them new.
right.
And and it's you told us the brand, but because Maria buys them secondhand. Those Toomey bags, you can get them secondhand for a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah.
If you buy them new, Jackie Cation, brand sucker, bought two roller bags, and then I bought Andy a backpack from Toomey because it's awesome, and then he bought me a backpack from Toomey because it's awesome.
Good.
And the
Fancy.
last time I was carrying my Toomey backpack with Chad Daniels, Chad was said, I was going to ask you how things are going, and then I saw your backpack, Jackie. Things are going well. And I'm like, it was a gift. Though I would have spent. I mean, the thing is the great thing about it was a lifetime guarantee. I've
Mhm.
already brought both of the roller bags to get zippers replaced and wheels replaced at the
Yeah.
Toomey store. So you just have to
I
pay shipping.
Yeah, I have a Samsonite that I got from Conan, and so it had Conan's name on it, and then it got a little ripped during baggage handling. So I had to put I had a leather like cover put on top of it so it looks nice. But now the slider thing doesn't work, and I took it to a luggage place, and they're like, I don't know, it just seems unfixable, so I'm sort of bummed. I would rather fix things than buy new ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I had a Marmot.
I have a guy who might be able to fix that.
Okay, give me
He's
that.
he's a cobbler. He's literally a cobbler.
I brought it to the shoe store here, and but maybe a different cobbler will.
Yeah, this
You know-
is an old Armenian guy. He'll be
Okay.
able to fix it, or he'll know someone. Hey, let's take a quick break
Okay.
and let's do the comic of the week.
Oh, our comic of the week is Maddy Kelly. She popped up on my Instagram. She's very funny.
Is
I
is
don't
she
know
the
her
one that you said
from.
where? How do I not know her? Was that the one?
I don't know. How do none of us not know these people? These people are popping up on our Instagram, fully formed comedians, and I can't stand it.
And her Instagram is it's Maddy Kelly, right? ITSMADDYKELLY,
Yeah, Kelly with a Y and Maddy with a Y.
and
Yeah,
not an
actually,
EY. Just yeah.
yeah. Either both of them end with Y's. Two consonants and a Y. So check out Maddy Kelly. She's very funny.
Yay!
I was gonna say, so I also like to give stuff away on Craigslist, stuff where you think I can't donate this, it's damaged, but somebody would use it, right? And so
Yeah.
far, every time I put something up and said, hey, here are all these caveats. Does anyone want this fucking thing? People want it, right? So I had a Marmot vest, that's pretty nice brand that Conan gave everyone for Christmas presents, and this main zipper was broken, and I was like, it's going to cost too much, and I can't do it myself, and so let me just give it away. And somebody picked it up. Like, I couldn't donate it, but to someone else's. This lady's like, oh, my mom's a seamstress, so she'll do it, and I'm like, yay! I hope her mom does it, and it has a new good home.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is great. What else is happening? And I wish I had more better stories.
Jackie, I know you will come up with stories as soon as I start talking. That's when your brain is flooded with stories. When I pause, you're like, I don't know what to say.
Okay, I'll say this. Kyle and I did the tiny special. Cause it's
Oh,
called
neat.
Looking Back.
Yeah.
It's me telling car jokes into the ass of a car.
Yes.
Kyle's car.
My God.
And I was talking to, I thought I would talk to someone who actually knew how to do social media.
Mhm.
PR, she's a big deal. Like she's not a big deal, but I mean, she knows things, right?
Right.
She's super smart. And she told me to wait. I've been told twice this week to wait. guess what? I don't ever want to do. Wait, if something's done, I want to put it out. And
Right.
she's like,
For what?
well, because she recommended I redo my website because my website has not been redone in like 10 years or 8 years or
Right.
something. And the guy who does my website, he's a good guy and he's a perfectly good web designer, but she's got a like a new elaborate plan and it's going to be fine. And he has a regular job. He's not going to, I can't imagine he'll miss it. And if he does, I'm sorry. I'll take him to lunch the next time I'm in Chicago, which by the way, will be on the 9th of June. Anyway, so but she was like, we're gonna redo your website. She helped me redo my mailing list. And my mailing list is getting something like the percentage of opens, the opening of my mailing list has gone from like 30% to 64%. Where people are clicking all the buttons and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, the interaction has increased sort of epically. And
Yeah, I gotta do that.
well, I have this email list. I somehow got sucked into MailChimp a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that they start, if you have over 2,000 people on your list, which I never have, because I mean, quite honestly, there's 11,000 people on the planet that fucking love me, right?
Right.
And that's great. But yeah, so actually the clicks on this particular one I just sent out was like 45%, which is actually good, but it's better than it has been before the revamp.
Right.
And so she's really good at PR stuff. And she's like, don't just put out this tiny, hilarious, adorable special, which is what it is. And instead we'll give it to like the people who like you, those 11,000 people, right? The Patreons, the Max Funds, the Rangers of the Dork Forest, like the people who genuinely, they should get to see it first.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And then just put it out there and clip it into 1,000 pieces. And I was like, oh, that sounds like you're right. I don't want to wait. But it turns out yeah.
How about like you do a live viewing with people?
She recommended that.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have people watch it, your fans watch it. These are people that are gonna they would love to like sit in and watch it with you. Like
what was that thing we did on Zoom? What was the
we did a Q&A.
platform? No, the platform on Zoom over lockdown that I ended up doing. How can I be spacing the name? It was sort of a produced late night idea. And Maria did a show.
I remember who did that, but I remember that, but I don't remember.
Can't remember the name of the company.
Right.
Because I did the staycation live release was done over that.
Oh, yeah, Jackie. I mean, that seems like a cool thing, you know?
Yeah. What's
you
the name of that live release company?
I worked with Morgan J last night, who's like pretty big on social media, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah, he put out a special. He couldn't sell it, so it's on YouTube. Like, if that guy,
those posts are super inspiring as far as like striking out on your own and stuff.
Yeah, but how are
every single
comics,
company rejected it?
Yeah, how are comics supposed to? I don't know. Like this also reminds me of kind of like what the writers are striking against, like the amount of free work that writers have to do before anything gets paid it's growing. It's horrendous. Same with actors. The New Yorker had a really good article on self tapes and self auditions and how much work actors are expected to do for an audition, right? And how much money it's saved producers. And now it's the same with stand-up. Like, we're paying for everything now. We're saving everyone so much money. We're not getting much extra money from it. Headlining money isn't, like say average base headlining money. It's the same. It's like 20 years It's been
It's
that
always
much
been
for like 20
Yeah,
years.
it's been the
right?
same. It's like low headline money is actually lower now than it was when I first started. I think it's like $800 or $900. It can be as low as $600 for headline money, and for a weekend. And but it's like low normal, like 4 or 5 shows is like $1,200 without any sort of credits or anything, which is why everyone should buy everyone else's merch. And
Yes, but it's
and
just this is where's this going? Like, how are any comedians supposed to make money if you have to constantly pay for all of this shit? You
Yeah.
don't make money off a YouTube special. You
Right.
don't. Very few people do. Ari Shafir apparently, someone was saying, hasn't made his money back, and he has a huge podcast. Like, it's not the fault of the comics. It's like you can't make money.
right,
Ah!
somebody's making money, and it's
Yes,
not the comics. That's the
it's not
point.
the
Is
people,
that
but
yeah?
so, like, whatever is going to happen with the writer's strike, and hopefully that SAG will join us, maybe it'll bleed over into comedy a little bit. I can't believe I got paid for a special. It wasn't a lot, but it was something.
Yeah.
Fuck. Am
Yeah.
I the last? Are we us that just did these comedy dynamic specials? Are we the last ones to get paid for a special now? If everyone's just putting their own shit out? Oh my God.
No, there'll always be some money. There'll always be some people paying some
There'll
money.
be 4 popular white guys that will, of course, always work.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The top 1% of comics make so much money,
Yeah.
and the bottom 99% are having to pay for everything they do. But I
Yeah.
don't know what the solution is, but it's not. It's a bad place we're headed if this is what we all have to do all the time.
And the weird thing is that to some extent, it's always been that way. I mean, I know that people who self-produce their own shows back in the 80s and 90s ended up making more money. So, than people who didn't,
But there has to be a space for people who can't do 18 things.
Right.
There are some
Right.
comics who can't, like, just me watching what you do. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, that's so overwhelming. All this
So
extra
many
stuff
irons,
you
so
do.
many irons in the
Yeah.
fire.
Some people cannot do that. I can't do all of what you do. I can do a partial. Some people can't do it all, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't
Yeah,
be
I
able
can't do all of
to-
what. Look at Jenny Yang.
Yeah.
Jenny Yang, talk about irons on the fire, just cranking stuff out. Kira Sultanovich. I mean, all of us just doing like 19 different things going, what about this? We're all throwing noodles at the wall, hoping it's al dente. That's,
Mhm.
I've decided to replace the monkey shit analogy with the noodles and al dente. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the heads up. I look
You're
forward-
welcome. You're welcome, America, for me cleaning that up for Laugh USA.
Let's Laugh USA.
It's the clean. It's this is just going to make you mad. It's the clean channel on Sirius XM.
That does make
That-
me angry.
Yeah, all mention of Sirius XM should make you angry. I got my check from Sound Exchange for the set that I cut into pieces, or Blonde Medicine did, and I'm told that that'll be the lowest one in a couple of months, and it was pretty good. So
Number? I see.
sure.
Is this the first one? You showed me the first one. Is this the
Yeah, the
second?
first one. This is the second one.
Okay.
So supposedly it's supposed to be double that next month. So that's almost that's low headliner money.
Well,
It's for a long time I was making about a week's pay, low headliner money a month. And it was
Yeah.
great. It was actually quite helpful. And
that shouldn't be considered extra money. And it's like, no, they're using your stuff to sell stuff. So you should be making that money. Every comic, it's not extra money. It's your the
it's
stuff
not
you created is creating money for Sirius, so you should get a piece of it.
right. And they clearly there's Sirius XM doesn't advertise. They're sort of like HBO, right? They just advertise for
The
themselves.
subscribe rates, Yeah.
It's all subscription. And someone was telling me about all these subscription streaming stuff is that they've had about 15 years to figure out how to distribute and make this work. And all they've done is hire a new CEO every couple of years to figure out how to make this work. And that's why they're not making as much, they're not making as much money as they think they are. And they can say, well, we're not making any money. We can't give the writers this money. We're not making it. It's like, no, you're giving it all to one dude.
No,
to
they
one
are
s-
they are making lots of money though.
Yeah, but
They
the
are.
subscription money is money. right? There's plenty
Yeah,
of
it's
money.
Yeah, no, they're making tons of money.
Yeah.
And they're just keeping it. Just like everything else in this country, people are just like 18 people have all the money and they're keeping it, and they fight every attempt at tax. I don't know where we think we're going with this, you know? It's
Right.
a
Well,
bad place.
it will. Some sort of nihilistic poetry.
Yeah.
That's where we're going. Let's take a quick break on that cheerful thought.
All right, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I so my Don't Tell put up my Black Twitter bit.
Yeah.
So it got a new wave of comments, and
Okay.
as you could see in the longer bit on my cis woke grief slut coming out soon, I make a point of saying it was a mistake to return to the thread
Yeah.
and add comments, right? And so now there are a lot of comments on my Black Twitter bit that I'm dying to respond to. But guess what? I'm taking my own advice in the joke and just letting it go.
Stepping away. Stepping away.
No, I mean, it's mostly good. It's mostly like good feedback. But the people that are like analyzing every word are imbuing intention on me or what I was making fun of. And it's like, no, all I was doing is making fun of white people in a way that would make a mostly white audience laugh and not get offensive. That's basically the bottom line, using myself as a proxy.
Yes.
And there's a lot of extra commentary where I'm like, no.
And the commentary is coming from people who like look at like a Vonnegut book and dissect it. I was like, go teach high school English, you douche.
Yeah. Well,
because guess what? He was, you're looking for metaphors and analogies and all of these things that were not the intention of the author.
No. And yeah, so here's the thing, as comics, like people's opinions of our jokes they're interesting, but they're actually not any of our business. Unless you're like, oh, thank you, I didn't realize that. Let me, I don't want that, being, like I was very, very careful on the wording on all my trans stuff. I just wanted to make sure it didn't,
like that they them bit that took forever. Yeah.
Right. So I'm always interested in that, but then, it's at some point it's like, ooh, now the joke's up and it's done and I'm, it cannot be changed. But also like that wasn't, you're reading way too much into this one.
My Native American Indian casino fast food, food bit that I did on Conan will often get sort of like commentary about me using the word Indian, but they're called Indian casinos. The people are called Native Americans. I'm using the language that was current at the time, the name of that. There's a plant in our front yard that is this racist? I don't know what else it's called. I don't know the name of that. Is it
the Wandering Jewish Americans? No.
Well, that's the name of the, I'm not.
It is. We had those in our house growing up. Oh,
like I'm not. It's
right.
I don't know what,
Yeah.
I don't know how to,
Wait, are you just riffing now in the chat, or are you adding?
You started it. You started chat riffing. So.
All right.
Which is sad for the people listening to the show. We're so sorry.
Well, listen, Jackie, clearly plants we need to look at plant names and it's not my job. That's the
right. It's not hard. But it does feel like the kind of bit that like Bill Burr would do, right? It was just like, this is called this, not Bill Burr. Actually, I don't think Bill Burr would do that joke. I like his. He might. I might. I mean, any of us might do a joke about that, but
it's a wide open premise, clearly.
I'm sorry, Bill. I didn't mean to bring you into the narrative.
I went to a rally on Friday. I brought my dear son. It was
Oh,
like
I meant to go to
it
that
was,
rally, but I was out of I was out of the business,
it
so I
was
couldn't do it.
out of the business.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm out of the business, but I am at the rally. It was good. It was like I've never. And here's the thing: like I think a lot of comics. This is if you're primarily a comic, and then that's your entry and entree into writing. This collective action is really like a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know,
And so
because
there was a rally in downtown LA and it was just WGA or
no, it was a lot of unions, it was like WGA and then it was like the service workers union and Teamsters and people that are going to have nothing to do with stand up or excuse me, they're not like they're service industry, right? And it's like, oh, I'm part of this. Like I've never felt part of something. I always feel I'm always watching people. This is the audience. You know what I mean? Like we and how comics have never been able to unionize because we're so individual and against each other. It's like it's really like the worst part of capitalism is the way stand-up comics treat each other,
yeah.
like constantly vying for each other's shit. And we're put in that position as well.
Right.
And
But yeah.
watching just being part of like collective action, it's never been anything I've even my sport wasn't even a team sport. My sport was individual swimming. Watching my son be part of a team, I'm like, wow, that's so different. I don't know. It's just a very different sensation
Yeah.
of feeling a part of something that I've never had in my life before. That's all.
So you didn't okay. Is this sort of the first protest you went to too?
No, I've been to protests before, but
And you have but you haven't felt that.
yeah, I have as an American, sure.
Yeah.
But no, as in terms of like being a worker, I never even consider myself a worker. I'm a
Ah, yes.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It always
You're
feels
just
like
one of the normal worker bees of the world.
yes, that's to
And
me, that's
shoulder
very
to
like
shoulder with everybody. Yeah.
right. That's like if you work for Ford in Detroit in 1988, you're a worker. Other
Yeah.
than that, I was like, I don't understand what it meant. My dad was an engineer. He was always just taking gigs left and right. He had no pension. He had nothing that all these people are fighting for. And so I was raised not to even expect that or think that was, I don't know. That just seemed like a different kind of job, you know? I
Interesting.
don't know.
Yeah. I didn't so your dad he was sort of contract work?
Completely. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it sucked.
Um well,
It sucked.
I got that
Oh, okay.
and I it was nice of them to send it.
Yeah.
I was it what I got was an agreement, but it was an agreement about a gig about this gig, right? That I'm not to talk that I haven't been talking about, but I just there's a couple of bad paragraphs in this contract that I got that they want me to sign. And it was supposed to be really straightforward and I was
Right.
just going to be able to sign it, but there's two paragraphs in it that I'm like, well, now I have to hire a lawyer to look at these two paragraphs. And so I I sent the stuff to the lawyer on Wednesday, I initiated contact with the lawyer on Wednesday, and then I sent the stuff on Friday, and I haven't heard back, and it's Saturday. What? No, it's I mean, it's just 2 days later, and it's a long Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So I just want to sign it and send it off so I get it back. But again, I have been told to wait for the lawyer to look at those two paragraphs and make sure they don't own my 2013 Corolla and at the end of it. And so I don't want to wait anymore. I want and I've lost 200 followers. I lost 100 followers on TikTok and 100 followers on Instagram, and I don't know why, and I don't know how, but I'm taking it personally, you guys. So I don't know,
Oh,
so I'm just
you know how you can solve that?
yeah.
Don't keep track. I mean, these people
That
could have
sounds
left.
sane. Yeah.
They could have left the platform. They
And
could
they
have
might have been bots. They might have all been,
might have been
you know,
bots.
like, but I was told because I have 144,000.5 now, thousand on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
And it was 0.6. And I was told 500,000. I was like, oh, 100,000. I should be able to fill the room. And then I was told it was 500,000. So the goalposts keep changing. of course.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing my damnedest, but I can't, I don't. And then I was at 80,000 exactly on Instagram, and now I'm at 79.9. So
Listen to you whine about these incredibly high rates makes me angry and want to throw the computer.
right.
Take it to
Uh,
somebody else. All
yeah,
right.
exactly. Why don't you take this up with someone who has 213,000 followers, Jackie?
You.
But I remember your Twitter feed had so many more followers than mine, and I was like, oh, I wish I had that many.
Yeah, I do. I mean, the price I paid to have that many followers was both my parents died. But that's the only time I've gotten followers is people interested in the death of my loved ones. So
Yes.
it's a grim it's a grim
It's a grim trade. It's a real grim trade.
yeah.
The economy doesn't work out because you only had two parents. It's better
No,
because I had three, because I had
yeah, you
yeah.
lucked out on this one.
Yeah, I got step
So many more
parents.
people to lose.
Exactly. My father's constantly getting married.
You might have another
Yeah.
stepmom before long. Who knows, Jackie?
It was that woman that he was married to for like 3 months, that he had been having the affair with. And he married her when Nancy started dating some guy that he was playing cards with, and so he couldn't play cards with the guy anymore.
Uh-huh.
And so my dad goes, well, Nancy is dating Bob, WW Bob. And I was like, or Bob WW or whatever his name was. And I was like, what does the WW stand for? And he goes, window washer. He's a window washer. Well, it turns out Bob owns a company that washes the windows of all of the buildings in downtown Milwaukee. So he is a very successful dude named Bob that my
Yeah.
dad played some sort of gambling card game with, and had been playing with him for 30 odd years. He's like, well, no, I can't play cards with that guy because he's going out with Nancy. And I said, well, Nancy got you where it hurts then. Good for her. And he goes, I could get married on Monday. Anyone would marry me. And I said, are you thinking of getting married at Nancy? What's happening? And that's literally what he did. He married this woman, Evelyn.
And that was your stepmom for a little bit?
No. Well, I mean, that was his wife for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was so funny because he said, I didn't want to invite anybody to the wedding. And Darla said, my sister, she goes, I don't come to anyone's third wedding, Dad. Congratulations. And so there's
Well,
that.
this is before Nancy became your stepmom, right?
No, after. He had been having an affair with this woman for like 9 years.
Oh, and your stepmom had passed away?
No, Nancy, they were together. So, okay, here's the thing. Nancy and my dad were together. They had finally ended it, got divorced. And Nancy started dating a guy named Bob that my dad knew. So Nancy's still alive.
Yeah.
She's dating Bob the window washer. And my dad, as soon as she starts dating him, my dad could no longer play cards with that guy, and he marries Evelyn to show Nancy that he could get married and go out with somebody just as fast as she could.
Gotcha. I didn't know Nancy and your dad had been divorced.
Eventually, they did live together for a long time, not divorced, with their parents. They both had their moms. I used to do a bit about how both of their moms lived with them, the four of them. It was the dumbest, what was the analogy? The dumbest episode of the Golden Girls. It's almost a Fred McMurray reference. And
Jackie, it sounds like the Yorks right now. Sarah and Andrew live together in the Royal Lodge. And of course his mother.
I bet the square footage is a little bit better.
It is.
So those are all royal people. I just had lunch and so many famous people came up. I had lunch with my friend, my old roommate, Jennifer McLean, and a couple of Brian Gannon. He tried to do stand up for a while, but he just got too nervous. He would literally, he's such a great writer. I was like, just write. Cause he would have to drink so much. Or he would have to throw up right before he went on stage. He got stage fright that bad.
Wow.
It was grim. But we had such a fun time. And then he was talking about being on some game show that he was asked to be on, something 25 words.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sounds like sort of a password, code names kind of thing. And but they mentioned like 4 famous people, one after another, and I kept going, and who is who is that? And so I don't know who anyone is to
You're
this.
out of the fame loop, Jackie.
It's so true. Do you know who isn't? Kira Sultanovich. She was at Cannes hosting the influencer
Con.
con man. Was it a con? And I took 5 semesters of French in college, and I passed 3 of them. I'll have you know. But anyway, she hosted the influencer awards in Cannes.
I didn't know. I honestly, that was so beyond my thinking that a fellow comic could be hosting something at Con, but I thought it was like Con, Tennessee, and joke, but it was actual Con. That's crazy. Only after she was wearing a gown with like fake diamonds on it did I think, oh, is this in Europe?
Yeah, she literally looked like a movie star.
Yeah.
Go to Kira Sultanovich's Instagram and check out that dress because she looked gorgeous.
Yep, and check out Maddie Kelly. It's Maddie Kelly. All right. Bye.